am confident enough to tell you that that fight is done, though. That fight is agreed all the way down to the date. That I do have a confidence to tell you.
Jones said he needs 4 months. Now you're going to do it in...
I'm telling you, this Jon Jones business, Jones will say a lot of things to the media. When he gets that phone call, here's the guy you're fighting. Do you understand? Yes. And that is what he will say.
Chael Sonnen claims the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight is officially signed and scheduled behind the scenes.
This fight is going to happen. In fact, this fight is going to happen next. You will not see Jon Jones fight and it not be Tom Aspinall. I can give you that as an assurance. I can't do it the other way. I cannot tell you that there's no scenario where Tom Aspinall fights and it would be against anyone but Jon Jones. I can't do that. I'm very close. I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. All the reports that you've heard that Jon is holding this fight up, they're not true. Jon has gone to the media and he's had his fun. The litmus test is when that phone rings and it's Dana White, what is said in that moment. That's the only way you go into the category of delaying and or ducking. That did not happen. That is a false report.
Chael Sonnen has once again stirred the MMA world with a bold proclamation. He believes the long-awaited showdown between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall is already a done deal, even down to the date. According to the former UFC title challenger, fans can expect the long speculated heavyweight unification bout to materialize sooner than expected. Sonnen, never one to shy away from strong statements, declared that the fight has been agreed upon in full and even hinted at International Fight Week as a possible target. He said he's confident enough to say the fight is happening, marking what could be the biggest UFC event of 2025.
I've told you the gossip. I've shared with you behind the scenes. It hasn't been, I've been the one to bring it to you, which generally, like in this space of getting clicks for views, is kind of the deli creme. If you could have inside information, boy, I've done it all. I've done it all, and it used to be a good hit when I could get Jon Jones and Aspinall, and I could put them together, and I could get a little he said type thing. I don't know. I could only guess. I don't know why this has stopped being a topic. My guess, my hypothesis, because I can do a piece on Jon Jones, do all right. I can do an Aspinall piece, I can do all right. I bring these guys together. My guess is that somewhere your spidey senses as a community went off and it told you you're not going to get the fight.
This declaration follows years of back and forth speculation about whether Jones would finally face Aspinall, the current interim champion and widely considered the most dangerous contender in the heavyweight division. Aspinall himself teased an announcement recently, hinting that big news was on the horizon. Fans have been left hanging ever since he claimed the interim title in late 2023 with a knockout victory over Sergey Pavlovich and followed it up with a lightning-fast win over Curtis Blaydes at UFC 304. His consistent dominance has made the demand for a unification bout with Jones nearly impossible to ignore.
Jon Jones coming out and claiming he needed 6 months to prepare. Now this is after he claimed that you got to back up a Brinks truck. We got through the Brinks truck. That's behind us. We now have a new demand, which is I must have 6 months. Oh, and by the way, and this was the best part of Jon's demand, the clock for the 6 months does not start until the contract is signed. Like, don't think you can call me and text me or my management team or anybody else in my inner circle. That doesn't count. Right? So don't even think you can count if you sent me the contract to sign. If I don't go in the office and I don't sign it, those 180 plus days do not start. Like, that was a fascinating troll. That was as good as the rubber ducky in terms of just a troll. Like, you've actually missed some really good things by ignoring the story. But it's not as though there isn't enough dirt on enough people's hands for killing the story.
Despite Sonnen's claims, others close to the situation have offered a more cautious perspective. Ariel Helwani responded to Sonnen's comments by saying that while discussions have been extensive, the fight is not officially finalized. According to Helwani, the UFC has gone above and beyond to make the bout happen, meeting the demands of both fighters and doing everything possible to push the deal through. However, the final decision rests entirely in the hands of Jon Jones. Helwani emphasized that the delay isn't due to any hesitation from Aspinall or the UFC. It's up to Jones to say yes.
So I do believe that Chael said it's a done deal down to the date, right? Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. That's essentially what he said. My understanding is, am I wrong? Did you guys see the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. My understanding is not quite accurate. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I understand. My understanding is if this fight doesn't come to fruition, if for whatever reason it falls apart and we never get to see Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, the UFC is not to blame. The UFC has, in my opinion, well, excuse me, I'll take that back. The UFC has, based on the conversations that I've had, not in my opinion, but what I'm reading and surmising and what's being told to me is they have made every effort in very good faith to make this fight happen.
Jones, who returned to the octagon after a long layoff to submit Cyril Gane in dominant fashion, was originally scheduled to face Stipe Miocic in late 2023. That fight was postponed due to injury, but eventually took place at UFC 309, where Jones defeated Miocic in the 3rd round. While this secured his place at the top of the division, it also reignited demands for a fight against Aspinall, who had by then cemented himself as the top threat in the weight class.
It is not possible to have an interim champion in the presence of a disputed champion. It's not possible. You cannot refer to Jon Jones as an undisputed champion, which is what he is. You cannot, per the rules of words, you may not refer to Jon as an undisputed champion in the presence of an interim champion. It is not possible. But I'm sharing this with you because in the world of this fight being silly or seeing something like maybe you can't pull off, maybe I'm being nice when I use the expression too good to be true, but it still comes to the same situation, which is you, the audience, in my opinion, based on the data that I've personally seen, you don't believe this fight's going to happen. And if I can succeed at one thing today, I would like to correct that. You're wrong. This fight is going to happen. In fact, this fight is going to happen next.
Throughout this saga, Jones has been accused of ducking Aspinall. Sonnen pushed back on that narrative, claiming Jones never turned the fight down. He insisted that Jones often plays games with the media, but accepts the UFC's calls when they come. According to Sonnen, Jones has simply been negotiating behind the scenes, using the media as leverage rather than genuinely avoiding the fight.
Absolutely perfect statement the other way. You will not see Jon Jones fight if he's not fighting Tom Aspinall. And I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight. I can go further. You will see Jon Jones fight Tom Aspinall. All the reports that you've heard that Jon is holding this fight up, they're not true. Jon has gone to the media and he's had his fun. That's not the test. The litmus test is when that phone rings and it's Dana White or his office. What is said in that moment? That's the only way you go into the category of delaying and or ducking. That did not happen. That is a false report.
Still, not everyone is buying it. Michael Bisping has been one of the loudest voices pushing for the fight. In March, he argued that if Jones continues to delay, he should vacate the belt. Bisping sympathized with Aspinall's situation, describing him as a humble, hard-working fighter in the prime of his career, who deserves more than inactivity. He criticized the UFC's handling of the situation, suggesting that in boxing, a champion refusing to fight a mandatory challenger would already have been stripped.
Well, I definitely believe the fight will happen this year. Seems like Jones is up for it. Seems like the UFC want it to happen. I mean, they said to Tom Aspinall, it's a done deal, it's going to happen. And it would just be such a shame if that fight didn't happen. I think it's going to happen International Fight Week, Las Vegas 2025. But what do I know? I'm not basing that on any inside information. Excuse me. I'm not basing that on any inside information. I know what you know. When Joe Rogan said apparently he wants 30 million, good for him. You know, I hope he gets paid that money. You know, I hope he does, and I hope we get to see the fight. And if it isn't 30 million, maybe it's around that. Maybe it's 20 million, 25. Maybe it's more, like you say. You know, I think the demand for this fight will be there. I think it's incredible that in this day and age, we're talking about these kind of fight purses being involved in mixed martial arts. I said this in my video. When I started MMA, I'm talking pre-UFC, when I first started like regional level MMA, everybody said, if you're getting into this sport for money, you're in the wrong sport. And I was like, holy cow, this is the only reason why I'm getting involved in this sport. And of course, you know, I did pretty well. And now we're seeing people, obviously Conor McGregor's done fantastic. Lots of people in the UFC have become millionaires through the sport. And now we're seeing, you know, people like Jon Jones getting what was only regarded or what was only seen possible in like the high level superstar boxers those kind of paydays. Now John Jones is getting that, and other people will be down the line as well. I think it's a great sign of the growth of the sport.
Bisping has even gone further, calling Aspinall the greatest mixed martial artist of this generation. He believes Aspinall is not just the future of the sport, but the most well-rounded and technically gifted heavyweight the division has ever seen. In Bisping's eyes, if Jones doesn't take the fight, it's a sign he's aware of how dangerous Aspinall truly is.
Who wins? John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I've actually had Tom Aspinall on the channel. And Tom's a small favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, no, and he should be. He should be. Listen, John Jones is great, and you can't deny what he's done in the octagon, the career that he's had, and he's technically unbeaten. However, you know, everyone meets their match eventually. And I think Tom Aspinall's the new generation, he's the new breed, and he'll go down probably as the greatest mixed martial artist that we've ever had.
Meanwhile, opinions within the MMA community vary widely on how a Jones versus Aspinall matchup would play out. Israel Adesanya sees Aspinall's striking as a serious threat, but believes Jones's superior wrestling could give him the edge. He suggested that if Jones takes the fight to the ground, he might be able to control the pace and wear Aspinall down over 5 rounds.
But Aspinall, he and his dad, cool dudes, lovely guys as well. But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. John is,
it's different.
But I don't know, man. They gotta fight, but if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Others, like Arman Sarukian, argue that Jones should stick to striking from range and use his reach to keep Aspinall at bay. Sarukian acknowledged that Aspinall would be one of Jones's toughest tests in the heavyweight division, but maintained that Jones has the tools to outpoint him from distance.
Who do you see as the #1 pound-for-pound guy in the UFC right now? Is it Makhachev? Is it somebody else?
Of course, it's a John Jones.
John Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We got to get him fighting Tom Aspinall maybe this summer.
Yeah, that's the fight everybody wants to see, even me. And because young guy versus like GOAT and real like heavyweight. So I feel like it's gonna be hard for John Jones.
Kevin Holland took a broader view. He defended Jones's decision to wait, comparing his strategy to that of boxing legend Floyd Mayweather. Holland argued that at this stage of his career, Jones has earned the right to take his time and choose when and how he fights. He stressed that Jones is protecting his legacy and making smart business decisions, even if fans don't like it. However, he also empathized with Aspinall, acknowledging the young champion's frustration with the delays.
John Jones thing, it's like, you know, it's like I'm going to stand up for him a little bit on this one. The dude's been around for a very long time, and he's fought a lot of people. Tom Aspinall is an absolute beast. John Jones is the greatest to do it in his time frame, and now he's actually doing it in a different time frame. You know what I mean? This probably should be Tom Aspinall's time frame. If I'm John Jones, I'm gonna play it like a Floyd Mayweather. I'm gonna play it like how these old school boxers played it. I'm gonna play it as smart as I can. I'm gonna be the OG in the game. Yeah, we may not like it. Yeah, it may sucks. Yeah, we may want to see the fight tomorrow. But the older I get, the smarter I will play the game. And if I'm John Jones, I will do everything in my power to make sure that Tom Aspinall understands how powerful and how dominant I have been over the years and all the things that I have done. So by the time it comes for us to fight, you'll be so up in your own head. You'll be so up about how big my head is. It'll be rough. And, you know, hopefully Tom doesn't fall to that. You know, hopefully Tom can stay who Tom truly is. And when the time comes, Tom can be that guy.
Do you think that's it too, Kevin? Do you think he's just...
He should. Yeah, I mean, if I was John, I would. You're fighting a young, hungry guy. Yeah, take your time. Fight him when you're ready. Don't fight him when he's ready. You know, Tom wants to fight tomorrow. Tom's frustrated. Tom's upset about it. You know, it's like Tom's talking about, I will not fight another guy for interim. I mean, why not? You're the baddest in the world. Go knock out another guy. Shouldn't be nobody in the way from you getting your paycheck, and it should be nobody in the way from you doing what you do.
Holland also questioned why Aspinall wasn't considering fighting someone else in the meantime. If he truly is the baddest man on the planet, as Bisping claims, then why not continue proving it? He suggested that building more momentum could actually benefit Aspinall in the long run, and might even make Jones more willing to accept the fight.
Defend the interim belt 5 or 6 times while this guy's waiting on the sideline. Then the whole world can't say nothing but that you're the champ, and when the other guy comes back, he should be happy he gets to fight you. Because at the end of the day, the baddest in the world will prevail every single time. If I'm Tom, I want all the experience I can get. I want every freaking benefit that I can have going into a fight with a guy like that. I want the guy to be so scared of me instead of me having to be scared of that guy that there's nothing that he can do. For me personally, I love when I'm on a hot streak. I love when I'm going. I love when I'm rolling. A guy like John Jones has proved that he can sit down for a certain amount of time and come back and still f somebody up. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't want to sit down on the couch for a long time and then come back and fight a supreme athlete. I'd rather be going, and doing my thing. You know, it's like, that's just me. You know, that's where Tom should want to be. He should want to be not too beat up, but at the same time, not too far back. And it's up to him to decide how he wants to do it. This is his career. Tom's he's a dog, bro. I mean, look at his career. I mean, the only guy he lost to was Curtis, and he came back and he showed what was up with that. So whatever he wants to do, he should do. He's already a champ in my eyes. I think they're both sitting with bling around their waist and, you know, and shit. Hey, they're heavyweights, dog. Big dick, big balls. Do whatever the y'all want to do, dog.
Azamat Bakoev backed Jones as well, calling him the greatest of all time and stating that Aspinall stands no chance. Bakoev emphasized that Jones has the experience and fight IQ to dismantle even the most dangerous opponents, especially in a 5-round war, something Aspinall hasn't been tested in yet.
I like count John Jones like the best of all the time because nobody he making like his opponents look like beginners. I think Aspinall don't have a chance with John Jones. He's too smart for him. John Aspinall, we never see him in 5 rounds. We never see him with the smart guys. We saw him like only with like knockout dance guys. Even with Pavlovich, it could be like Pavlovich also could like knock him out too. But John Jones is different. 100% John Jones will win.
Daniel Rodriguez weighed in too, saying he understands why Aspinall is waiting for Jones given how big the fight could be, but he admitted that if he were in Aspinall's shoes, he might consider taking another fight to stay active. While Rodriguez favors Jones in the matchup, he was impressed by Aspinall's speed and movement, calling it exceptional for someone his size.
Man, they're taking forever on that shit. If I was Tom Aspinall, I'd be like, man, you fight somebody else first, you know? But I understand how massive that fight is, the potential money it's going to make. Of course, they're going to wait around for it, but, I'll probably go with Sean Jones, man. Although I have seen Tom Aspinall training and how he moves like for a big ass dude. He can move around. He goes fast.
Frank Mir noted that while Aspinall's striking is formidable, Jones's grappling might be the deciding factor. He also argued that Jones doesn't need this fight to validate his legacy. His accomplishments have already earned him a spot among the all-time greats.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat John right now. But that being said, I still think John wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does John win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody cares.
Sean O'Malley took a slightly different angle. He believes the fight is more important for Aspinall's legacy than Jones's. Win or lose, Jones's place in history is secure. But for Aspinall, beating Jones could be a defining moment, a chance to truly enter the conversation among the sport's elite.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like you risk going down as no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, John Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in.
Martin Tybura agreed that the fight needs to happen. He praised Jones for bringing star power to the heavyweight division, but felt it would be fair for Aspinall to get his shot at undisputed status. Tybura suggested both fighters are playing psychological games through the media, each trying to gain an edge before stepping into the cage. He also mentioned that the ongoing buildup is only increasing the fight's hype and helping Aspinall's profile grow just by being linked to Jones.
It's crazy to think what this guy is capable of and how quick that was, and where is the roof? That's the only question. Who can stop him right now? I cannot tell. I know John Jones in his prime time maybe, but now he's He's might be a little bit older than, you know, the skills might be not there. So I don't know. It's crazy where he's going to.
Curtis Blades, who was quickly dismantled by Aspinall in their last bout, also believes the fight needs to happen. He compared Aspinall's style to Dominic Reyes, whose performance against Jones was one of the most competitive in the champion's career. Blades pointed out that Jones lacks heavyweight knockout powers, which could be problematic against someone with Aspinall's speed and aggression.
Because Stipe, like, when he was at his brightest, like, he was special. But that was also like, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? So if the only way for John to earn my respect, and I know he doesn't care about earning my respect, but the only way for me to be like, yeah, this dude's the heavyweight GOAT is for him to beat Aspinall. You gotta fight the best to be the best.
Yeah, you just said it, you're absolutely right. There's no reason to speculate, but I mean, I think we all know that's the one that everyone wants. And you know, this idea that John is afraid of Tom, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you know,
no.
Yeah, like, and I hope that, listen, it's going to come down to money. You and I both know that it's going to come down to money, and I hope they do pay John what he wants, because listen, it's a massive fight. But you obviously have spent a couple training camps getting ready for Aspinall. Do you see Aspinall as a guy that could give John a lot of problems?
Yeah, he's very fast, he's very athletic, and hits hard enough, and he's actually like a smart heavyweight. He's not just out there just talking and moving. He's like setting things up. He understands footwork. He understands how to set up a takedown. He's not. One thing I noticed with John, this is a bonus to him. He takes advantage of like easy stuff.
Even Stipe Miocic, the last man to face Jones, had thoughts on how Aspinall should approach the fight. Miocic advised patience and discipline, warning that Jones is a master of capitalizing on mistakes. Aspinall, he said, would need to be calm and calculated to avoid falling into traps. At the end of the day, what's clear is that the MMA world is eagerly waiting for this fight to be finalized.
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough, and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He picks his shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Sonnen says it's a done deal. Helwani says not quite, and Jones's manager Malki Kawa suggests the negotiations are complex. Kawa echoed Jones's earlier sentiment that it would take money to make this fight happen, signaling that the stakes are sky high on all fronts: reputation, risk, and reward.
We sit in negotiations all day long and we talk about things all day long, right? And I think that everybody that's involved in anything to do with any of this stuff wants all these fights to happen, right? I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Do you think it happens?
I think that it depends on certain things and whether or not everybody want to make those certain things happen. And if the answer to everybody else is yes, those certain things happen, then yes, the fight will happen. He's the best in the world. I take it personal when people don't have him won in the pound for pound rankings. I think that while he's active as a fighter, he should be number one. I think, out of respect to what he's done, he has had the toughest strength of schedule that I think anybody in the history of the sport has had, especially as a champion. He's had the longevity as a champion that no one else has had. And I think whenever he's active, whether that means once a year or twice a year, he should be considered the number one fighter in the world, pound for pound.
Whether the fight happens at Madison Square Garden in August, during International Fight Week, or at another venue altogether, one thing is certain: the MMA world will be watching. This isn't just a clash of champions, it's a battle between a legend and the sport's most exciting new force. If the stars align, it could be the most electrifying moment in UFC history. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.